Hi, Kory. It's an absolute honor to be joined by you today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I've been looking forward to it, and it'll be a great time chatting with you tonight.
Cool. So let's jump straight into it. You are an experiencer, and after meeting Chris Bledsoe, you started seeing orbs, but you have like this unique ability where you can seem to interact with them. Is that correct?
hmm Yeah, after meeting Chris Bledsoe a little over a year ago, I just decided to go out on my own and try this for myself. And I learned pretty quickly that if you pray to them or speak out loud to them, that they will interact with you. And I'm certainly not the only one. There's a lot of other experiencers out there too that can get this type of really cool interaction with them.
Look at those two. 3. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that's more than 3. Holy smokes. Wow. Oh my god, there's 2 more again. Oh, look at how many times it's flashing. Thank you. Happy Orbiversary. Wow.
Can you remember roughly when you started experiencing the phenomenon and seeing the orbs?
Yes. So I read Chris's book in January of 2024, and I was really inspired and wanted to meet him. So in April, a few months later of 2024, I went up to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I met Chris and all the Bledsoes, and it was for a festival called Azalea Fest. And we skywatched with Chris on the beach, and we saw some orbs, and it was a really cool experience. And like I said, I was just super inspired. So within a few weeks of seeing them with Chris, I decided to go out on my own, and pretty soon after figured out that there was the hitchhiker effect for real. They'll follow you home.
So what was it like to meet Chris for the first time?
Oh, it was amazing. He's such a genuine, amazing person. Just has this incredible energy about him. When you look into his eyes, you just, I don't know, you feel this incredible connection, and you feel as though he is seeing you for who you are, that he believes in you. And yeah, I just really felt that when I met him, I almost felt like I was stepping into the true version of myself. Like, there was somebody that I was meant to be my whole life. And this was a really important turning point for me, was meeting Chris. And I didn't even realize it until it happened. So yeah, a lot of people feel really, really moved by Chris's presence when they meet him.
I could definitely resonate with that as well, and so many people say the same.
hmm
So how did you find the whole experience of the Azalea Festival in 2024 the first time?
It was so much fun. I went without knowing anybody. I didn't have any friends to go with me, and I just told myself, all right, I will be this crazy person. I will go on my own. And the experience was unbelievable, not just because of Chris, but because of all the other people that feel pulled to meet him. And you start to meet all these amazing people that are like-minded, and you start swapping stories of the phenomenon and find amazing synchronicities between everybody. And it in a weird way feels like it was meant to be, that everybody was supposed to be there and meet each other. So it was pretty phenomenal and life-changing. And I definitely walked away having made like a ton of friends. So it was cool showing up, not having anybody with me, but I felt as though going home, I was taking a lot with me home. So yeah.
The sense of community around Chris is like something which is difficult to describe to people, and like people have got to experience it for themselves to go to these festivals and see like how many like people travel from everywhere.
Yeah, all over the world. Like you said, it's hard to really convey that to people, but if you go, you'll feel it and experience it yourself.
Can you remember what it was like for the Skywatch for the first time? To be out on the beach doing the Skywatch?
Yeah, it was really, really cool. It was like that moment of, oh my God, it's happening. And I had a really cool experience personally. I mean, first of all, everybody did, but when it was the first night of the festival and we were standing at the tent, this was prior to even being on the beach, but we were standing at Chris's booth, and I think it was maybe close to 9 p.m. And he was telling us, if you pay attention, you'll start seeing orbs go overhead. So that was my first experience seeing the orbs, which was really profound for me because I happened to point out one to someone, a friend standing next to me. And I said, look, there's an orb. And it just went and illuminated super bright. And everybody was jumping up and down, so excited. And the same thing happened again the second night when we were at the beach. We saw a ton of orbs, and there just happened to be this one moment where I was pointing one out to the person standing next to me. I actually don't even know who this person was, so maybe one day I'll find this person and we can reconnect. But it was so dark on the beach, I couldn't even see their face. But I'm like, oh, look, do you see that orb? And it just illuminated bright, and everybody freaked out again. And so I walked away from that situation just being orb-cessed, as I call it, and I couldn't get it out of my head. It completely changed the trajectory of my life, asking myself, like, what is the meaning of life? What's the meaning of all of this? And how can I replicate this again on my own? So in a nutshell, that's what it felt like to Skywatch with Chris.
Wow, that's amazing. So after the festival finished, you went home. Did you start seeing the orbs while you were at home?
I had to go camping. So I live in like a city type area where there's a lot of people. And I would go outside every night and then just look up and I would talk to them. And, I wouldn't see much other than probably satellites and airplanes. So I decided a few weeks after meeting Chris to book a camping trip in a designated dark sky area. It was a few hours away from me in Okeechobee, Florida. So my husband and I went camping, and then that's when I figured out, like, oh my gosh, this is for real. So yeah, pretty soon after meeting Chris, I was able to see them on my own, which was cool.
Cool. So they call it like the hitchhiker phenomenon, don't they? I think Chris calls it the truth switch. He doesn't like to use the hitchhiker word. So like, have like any of your friends or family witness the orbs with you?
My friends and family support me, but they're not super into this stuff. My husband has experienced them when we went camping, and then he told me afterwards, he's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You can go off and do it on your own, which is really funny. It's just not for everyone. Um, and it wasn't until sometime this year, I want to say January or February, that he went skywatching with me again. And he saw them again at the beach here near where we live. So yes, my husband has seen them, and they've interacted with him and responded to things that he said, and asking, can you illuminate, can you send out 2, can you send out 3? And in the moment, he always has a lot of fun, and then when he goes home, he's like, meh, I don't really want to do this stuff anymore. So yeah, I wonder if he went out on his own, if he would experience it, but I don't know, maybe one day, we'll see.
I can totally resonate with that, because that's why like it's so good to have like a community of people who you can share these experiences with, rather than like if
Yeah.
your like partner or husband isn't interested. Yeah.
So it's not really an experience that is meant for everybody at a particular moment. It's hard to describe. I feel like you can't just force somebody to be into this stuff. They have to, they have their own free will. They have to come to it when the moment is right for them. And so you can show anybody this phenomenon in the sky and they can be like, oh, that's cool. And then they go back home to their regular life. But it's not until maybe it's like you just said, that truth switch flips for them, that they'll be pulled to this phenomenon. So yeah, if there's anybody out there who is struggling with their friends or family or spouse not being super into this stuff, that's okay. It's normal, and a lot of people I know, including me, experience that. So
Cool. So prior to your experience at the Azalea Festival, had you ever seen any like classic UFOs or had any other paranormal experiences?
So, when it comes to paranormal experiences, yes, I had a lot of what you would maybe classify as ghostly or maybe even poltergeist with, objects moving around. A lot of experience with sleep paralysis and seeing beings while being stuck in sleep paralysis. So, definitely a lot of weird paranormal type stuff has happened throughout my life. But as far as the UFO stuff, I hesitate to say yes, but I have one experience that I remember from when I was 12, where I was in Georgia and I was fishing with my dad and another family member. So it was 2 adults and me, and I was 12. And we're out at this cow pasture and we're fishing, and it's super clear night sky. It was beautiful, and all of a sudden one of them was like, "What in the hell is that?" And the 3 of us look up, and above us are these white lights, and they're just spinning all around each other. My dad remembers them going in like 90-degree angles. They did not seem very far above us. Like, they didn't seem like they were a satellite or an airplane, and they didn't make any noise at all. And I distinctly remember at one point one of them getting very, very bright and then getting dim and zooming off. And all 3 of us were just like, well, I think those were aliens. But anyway, let's just move on with our life. And I look back at that now and I wonder if maybe it was the orbs, but I'll never know. I can only speculate. But yeah, so a lot of weird, random paranormal type experiences throughout my life before this.
Wow, that encounter with the orbs, that sounds like it sounds familiar, doesn't it? It sounds like a lot what other people have seen as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So since you've been skywatching and you've made the connection yourself, what would you describe as your most crazy or intense experience with the orbs?
I think that the craziest one for me would have been actually almost a year ago today. So today is June 19th, and this happened, I believe, on June 21st of last year. And I went solo camping because, remember, my husband was like, "You're on your own. I don't want to do this anymore." So this was my first time going out on my own, and there was a lot that happened on that camping trip. But what was most profound for me was this gigantic white orb came down, and I watched it shoot up and down, and left and right, left and right. And it was so bright. And the way it was making these maneuvers, I was like, what is going on? When you see, at least when I see a light in the sky or a light on the ground, it's good to have a healthy level of skepticism and ask yourself, what could this be? And, narrow it down to really being confident that this is something that's unexplainable. But what I was watching, I was like, for sure, this is an orb. It was like a big white ball of fire almost. So anyway, it's up and down, left and right, left and right. And then it just stops and it beams directly at me. And I feel like from head to toe, this energy flow through me, and my whole body was shaking. And it just felt like electricity running through me. And I remember thinking in that moment, whatever I'm looking at right now looks like it's straight from heaven. It was the most whitest, brightest light I've ever seen. And I felt this message come through of, you have to share this with people. You need to teach people how to connect and show the world that we exist. And ever since that moment, I have just opened myself up to this phenomenon, and I have followed that little voice inside of my head that you can call them messages or maybe intuition. And it hasn't failed me yet. This little voice and these messages have been guiding me through this last year and helping me gain this confidence to share my videos and hopefully inspire people to go out and do this on their own. So I've had a lot of really cool experiences this last year, but I gotta say that one takes the cake because it's kind of the one that really, really turned my whole life around into this crazy, weird world that I'm living in now.
That sounds so intense. Like, do you think that that one was like different kind of experience to the standard orb sightings that we see?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. That one, I really don't know what to make of it other than that uh, it's hard for me to describe. I think that if I'm being
Okay.
candid, this was something that I was meant to do, that I'm meant to show people this, help them connect to God and understand that there are things out there greater than us. And so I think that was just the experience of them connecting with me and saying, like, hey, girl, this is what you need to do. So start getting it together, start going out, connecting with people, connecting with us, and filming. And I certainly have not had an experience like that since. Thank God, because, I feel like one person can only take so much. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
That sounds really like emotional, quite the emotional experience.
Yeah, it was definitely emotional and confusing, and like I said, I just had to trust that little voice that was in my head. There were a lot of moments this last year where I was like, "I am a crazy person," but um, if you trust yourself and you trust that little voice that's guiding you, and as long as it's telling you to do good things, right, and not anything weird, then it's definitely something divine and positive in your life guiding you.
So I don't think like anybody really knows exactly what the phenomenon and the orbs are, but like in your opinion, what do you think they are? Do you think they are like spiritual interdimensional beings or angels?
Yeah, I think all of the above of what you just described. I think that they are light beings, that they are certainly interdimensional. I believe that they do have an angelic vibe to them, that they will guide you through your life. They will help you through tough times. I know that they are good and positive because only good and positive things have happened to me since interacting with these beings. And now I know that there are some people out there who will say that maybe they're negative or they're not of light and love, or maybe they throw out the whole opinion of, well, demons can masquerade as beings of light. And what I say to those people is that these are beings of light and they are positive and they appear when I pray to them or when I pray to God or when I think about love, and that I don't think that negative entities have the strength or capability to penetrate that. When you're praying to God, you would imagine that God's angelic beings would communicate with you. So that's my personal belief. And, I know that sometimes spirituality can make people uncomfortable. And, I'm sad if it does make you uncomfortable. And I think that everybody should be spiritual in their own sense, and they should build spirituality in whatever way enriches their life. It doesn't have to subscribe to any sort of religion or belief, and it can look different from my level of spirituality. But if there's anybody listening right now that wants to connect with these beings, you have to understand that there is a spiritual side to this, and that the more that you lean into this spiritual side, I believe the more connection you'll achieve.
Wow, that's I couldn't agree more with that. Like we've even heard like people like Jake Barber and Skywatcher who have said at the same that there's a spiritual side to things. So that if the government are coming out and saying that as well now, and from what like everybody in our community is experiencing as well, it's definitely something to it.
Yeah, it's not anything to be fearful of, and there's definitely a spiritual, psychic aspect to it, and it seems like our own government even knows that behind the scenes, especially when you pay attention to Jake Barber's story and other people's stories, including Chris Bledsoe, who has been studied by every three-letter agency and a lot of other governments, and so, you know, the people at the top of the food chain definitely understand it's a spiritual and psychic phenomenon. So if you can get on board with that, then you're off to a good start.
Yeah, I agree totally. So you've recently been to the Monroe Institute to do the Gateway experience, is that correct?
Yeah.
How did that go for
that
you?
was about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and it was a beautiful experience. I went into it hoping to go out of body, which didn't happen, but I'm not disappointed because I ended up getting a lot more out of it in ways that were totally unexpected. So it was a really beautiful, profound experience. And in addition to that, it was like my first time sort of unofficially facilitating a Skywatch. So it was really cool to be able to get everybody together and just explain to them like what I typically experience when I skywatch, what I look out for, how the orbs will appear and interact with us. And on one of those nights, the orbs really pulled through and we got to skywatch, which was just incredible.
I've seen the video of that Skywatch, and you are right, it is truly incredible. I'll play a little bit of it for our viewers now, just so they can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, okay, there's another one in the middle of the dip. It's moving left to right. If you're willing, please illuminate brighter so everybody can see you. It's brighter.
Oh, there
it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful. It's moving up to the right toward the pine tree. Can you get brighter, please? You guys see that? Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, thank you. It's a triangle. There's a triangle right there. Look at that.
Wow. You guys saw that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Look
God.
at the cute triangle.
Look, it's still super bright. Thank you.
I think somebody was just going in to go past.
Okay.
Oh,
There's another one. Thank you.
Oh, there's another
There's
one.
another
Just
one.
flash next to it.
Yep. Yep.
You guys want to cross paths?
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to going to the Monroe Institute, had you ever done the Gateway tapes online yourself? And did you notice any difference from doing them, listening to them online, to actually being there in person?
I did a hemisync meditation, but I had not accessed the actual gateway meditation, so I can't quite compare it, but I will say that the benefits of doing it in person were really amazing. Just being around other people's energies and being able to be in person to do those pre-meditation meetings. You know, you get in this meeting room, they talk to you about the meditation you're about to do. You go, you do the meditation, and then you come back and kind of debrief and share your experience if you wanted to. Also, I'll just say that the vibes there are incredible. I mean, the further you drive up onto Roberts Mountain, the more you just feel this energy. It's so serene and peaceful, and you're just one with nature. And yeah, it was unbelievable, out of this world to be a part of that experience.
And it was particularly special as well because it was a collaboration with Bledsoe Said So that Ryan arranged. So it was like all people that you were, some of the people that you were already friends with. And then it's just a much better experience, and I can imagine. I've seen all the photos and the videos, and it looked amazing. I was jealous. I wanted to go.
Yeah, you had FOMO.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really cool being with a bunch of people that some of us had met before, and well, some of us had also met in person or just online. So it was really nice to meet like online friends in person for the first time, but also the people that we hadn't met. it already felt like we knew each other because of having Chris's story and Bledsoe Said So in common, and having that foundation and that openness of experiencing this phenomenon. So I think that's what made the group so special. And I'll also add that the two instructors, Darren and Arky, they were unbelievable. They were amazing. I love them so much. And they had a lot of really kind things to say about our group, that we connected faster and more intensely than pretty much any other group they had ever seen. And I just wondered if it was because we had that solid foundation of Chris's story, connecting with the phenomenon, and that maybe a few of us had known each other ahead of time. So yeah, there was a lot of powerful connections and meditations in the group for sure.
Yeah, because the work that the Monroe Institute do is like very connected to the phenomenon, isn't it? You know, it's like with the consciousness thing, and you know, they're doing some great work behind the scenes there.
Yeah, and they mentioned to me that maybe there is a possibility in the future that they could develop a sort of skywatching program, because if you think about it, meditation and connecting your heart and your mind has a lot to do with this phenomenon. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Monroe will come out with a really cool program one day, and then we can all go and take the program and skywatch together.
Oh, that would be incredible. That'd be amazing.
Mhm.
It's, so what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to connect with the phenomenon? Like where to start?
Yeah, I would say have pure intentions. And what I mean by that is asking yourself, like, what are you really trying to achieve through this? Why do you want to experience this? Don't go into it with just bad intentions or high expectations. Have pure intentions and ask to experience something that is greater than us. Don't go into it expecting to see orbs, because there's going to be times where you're disappointed. Every once in a blue moon, when I skywatch, I won't see them. And in the beginning, I'd get disappointed and I'd be bummed out and I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Don't worry about all that. Just know and understand that if you go into it with pure intentions and no expectations, and just thinking like, I'm going to have a beautiful night outside, and just put my phone away and stop worrying about work and stop worrying about everything else that's bothering me, that whether I see the orbs or not, at least I'm calming my mind and my body and just enjoying time in nature, and I won't walk away disappointed. So that's a good area to start with the skywatches. I definitely recommend praying to them, and praying to God too, or whatever, positive higher being you feel called to. Pray and communicate with them. Let them know what your intentions are. Let them know, I want to connect with you. Please help me and teach me, show me how to connect with you. Illuminate in the sky. Always speak to them respectfully and with kindness and love in your heart. And this is a big step that I always recommend to people. It's like tried and true for me, and a lot of people give me positive feedback for this. It is to tell them in advance. So like, let's say you look at the weather and a few days from now it's going to be clear outside, and you're like, okay, I'm skywatching on Wednesday this week. Every single day leading up to the skywatch, you need to pray and communicate with them and say, this is where I'm going to be on this day at this time, and I wish to connect with you. Please help me. Please illuminate, and I hope to see you there. And I don't know why, I think that it just helps with building intention with them. I always joke around like maybe they need to clear their schedule, but that's mostly a joke. But I guess the last thing that I would add for now would be to go into it with a learning mentality, which means that learn what satellites look like near you. Learn, download a satellite tracking app, understand what they look like, how they travel. Sometimes they illuminate and pulsate too. Understand what time of night you're going to see satellites more, which is like right after the sun goes down and a couple hours after. So if you can stay up later to skywatch, that would probably be better. And also, when it comes to the learning mentality, understand the flight patterns near you, what planes look like, what drones look like, so that you're able to differentiate these things, and it'll help you really spot the orbs better. I've just thought of a couple more things too I want to add. So, at least in my experience, the orbs will appear over the horizon, not straight above. That doesn't mean you won't see orbs straight overhead. I still do sometimes, but if you see any of my videos, you'll notice that a lot of times it's like right above the water, over the ocean, or if I'm more inland, just right above the horizon, and they will pick a part of the sky and illuminate over and over and over again. So that's definitely something to look out for. And the last thing that I will add is to open your heart and your mind. So, opening your heart, just envision it like doors opening and light coming through. And envision this energy going up to your head and then just projecting this to the sky. Imagine sending your thoughts to the sky. And also, a part of opening your mind and your heart is to remove all the labels of what you think this might be. So, whether you think it's aliens or angels or interdimensional light beings, just try to remove those labels and say, I don't know what you are, but I'm here to learn and I'm here to connect regardless. And, okay, the last thing I'll say is don't be fearful. There's a lot of people that feel nervous, and I definitely felt nervous at first as well, but it goes back to communicating with them. Let them know, like, I don't want you coming too close. Pretty much most of the time they're not going to anyway, because they don't want to overwhelm you. They don't want to scare you. Don't be fearful. They first and foremost love you, and they care about you, and they want to guide you through life. They want to connect with you in the sky. It's not just a sky phenomenon, it's an everywhere in your life phenomenon. So they can hear you at any point in time. If you just want to talk to them, they can hear you. And yeah, don't be fearful. Just understand that it comes down to light and love. And anyway, yeah, you can take those tips and tricks to the bank.
Wow, that's great words. So the next thing I wanted to bring up is you actually started a YouTube channel which helps people to connect with the phenomenon. Could you tell us a little bit about the channel?
Yeah, it's called Kory Moo FO, and you can also find that same handle on Instagram, where I share experiences from my own sky watching. I share typically my most profound and exciting experiences, but when sharing my videos on Instagram, I figured that it's just so limited on Instagram, and I knew that I'm like, I need to reach as many people as I possibly can with this message of light and love, and this message of this world is crazier than we even know, and that we need to connect with it in order to create positive ripples through humanity and help change the world and just live a better, happier life. So I decided to make a YouTube, and I only have a few videos that are out now, but I'm very excited to share my sky watching adventures, and I share tips and tricks on how you can connect, kind of everything I just went blabbing on about, but just stretched out with some more details and explanations. And I hope to travel around more and meet up with people and sky watch with them. I have some other cool adventures coming up, like I will be going to the Sci Games in Virginia in August. I will also be going to Riverfest in Wilmington in North Carolina. So yeah, I just hope to produce some fun content and inspire others to figure out what the heck is going on around us.
Wow, thank you. I mean, I've seen some of your videos on YouTube, and they are like really, really good videos, and I recommend everybody go and subscribe to Kory. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to hear your stories and experiences, and I'll put all links to your YouTube and your Instagram handles in the description and on the screen now, so people know where to find you. I got one more question. Hot dogs or corn fritters?
Oh my God, you already know the answer to that. Hot dog gang, dude. Come on.
Cool.